Hi, this is Chris with EverydayVBA. This is the solution to the Macro Monday sheet selector. This is going to be a two-part challenge. We're basically building the selector first, and then we're going to do some renaming and some error handling. Should be an awesome deal. Well, this is going to be the kind of the first one that we actually use a form. So we're going to dig right in. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make a user form. This is your user form. If you haven't used user forms before, they're a little different. It's actually closer to what would be more standard programming, so it's a good thing. So first thing we want to do is we want to change this caption. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to change this to select sheet. Typically when I do this, I will actually rename my user form. I'm not going to do that in this case because I think it adds more confusion as you're starting to learn, but typically I would name that sheet selector or something. Now they all have to have the same name, so just keep that in mind. Now the thing with doing forms is you're going to add controls, and this is going to require we're going to use a drop down. It's a combo box, that's what they call it, and that is what we're going to use on this one. So what we need to do is we actually need to fill this with all the sheet names. Now, really easy now because we only have one sheet. But let me just show you how to do that. So we're going to double click on this. This is if it changes. And I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself. So the first thing we want to do, what the combo box does is if there's a change, it will actually run some code. We're going to go back to that because we're not totally ready for that just yet. So first thing we're going to do, we need to double click on the user form. That's going to pull up a user form click, right? Well, we don't want to execute any code on the click. We actually want to, on the user form, when it's initialized, or basically when it starts, we want to do some stuff. Now you'll notice that it has the name and then an underscore initialized. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to rename that. It gets confusing if you've never done that. So this is pretty simple. We're going to go for each WS in Okay, so that is our code. So I know that I did that really fast. I've done this before, but it's really pretty simple. It just says when I open up this form, what I want to do is I want to do a for loop through every sheet, and for every sheet that there is, I want to add that item or that worksheet name into my combo box. So now we actually should be good to go with this user form, but we need to have a module that calls the user form. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, I added another user form. So we're going to remove that because we don't want it. We want a module. And how you call user forms is within a sub. So we're going to call this sheet sub. And you're just going to go user form 1. And you'll know that if you hit that period, if you hit the period and then IntelliSense pulls up, it's pretty nice because it means that you've actually spelled it correctly. And we're going to go show. And really all that does is it says we're going to show this form. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show the form and see if it actually worked. Now we're going to go line by line. So we're going to do user form 4. Now just like I said, it does the initialize piece, and it's going to go through each sheet, and it's going to add those to the combo box. So now we'll know that we just have that one sheet. Now remember how I said that when I change that, it's going to execute some code? Well, I don't have any code there yet, so it's not actually going to do anything, but let's put in the code. Okay, so now that we've got this, what we're going to do is we're just going to add in that code. So the first thing we want to do is we want to pull the name or what's actually just been selected. So I'm just going to do end me is equal to combo box 1, and then we're going to go sheets dot select or sheets NME dot select. And it doesn't look like it did anything because we're selecting the same sheet, which isn't that big of a deal. But now what we want to do is we actually need to put in an exit here. because this code is still running. So it's just in pause mode because what's happened is the form is still kind of live, so we need to basically hide that or unload it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to unload it, and we're going to go unload me. Now, unload me basically means, hey, this is my project, or it's my code. This is my form, and I'm not needed anymore. So you can just basically go ahead and just close me out. So now, if we run this again, I'm going to add another sheet, and I'm going to hit F5. We're going to select sheet 2. And you'll notice it just selects to sheet 2, and you'll notice that it unloaded and basically exited the code. So what it did is it went from the module to the form to the combo box, made the change, closed down the form, went back to the module. There was no more code. So that's basically what happened there. All right. So that is the solution to Macro Monday. Now next week what we're going to do is we're actually going to add a change event in there where you can actually change the sheet name. Should be a good time. So I hope you enjoy it.